Do you suck at building in Fortnite? Are you getting bossed up like a fish, getting 200 pumped, staring at your screen as your opponent does the gritty?
I say right foot creep. You're a victim.
You then proceed to rage quit the game and you tell yourself that it's too sweaty, that you can't compete, and that you just wish you could go back to the OG times where everyone was bad and you just keep on wishing, but unfortunately those times are gone. If you're looking to improve in Fortnite one step at a time, whether you just got back into the game after not having played for a while, or this is your first game on, this video will guide you fully with detail on everything you need to know to master building, the most important aspect of Fortnite. I mean, it's literally why the game got popular in the first place. I can guarantee you that anyone watching this will learn something new, or maybe something they've forgotten about. All I ask is that you support me by using my code Clumzzy in the item shop, that you consider subscribing if this video helps you. Now let me stop talking, let's get straight into this. Here's exactly what this video will cover. This video is pretty lengthy and you don't have to watch it in one go. You can keep coming back to it as you grind and continue improving your building. Timestamps are below, so you can feel free to skip around if you already know the basics. The title didn't lie, this will literally go from the absolute beginner fundamentals to intermediate all the way to very advanced building. I really recommend that you can watch this video fully if you truly care about learning and improving. There's a lot that we're about to cover. First, when you're back on Fortnite, make sure you have a sense and a DPI that you're comfortable with. And if you're a controller, I'm not a controller player, so I won't show the best method for getting sense on controller. But before doing any drills or continuing with this video, pause and make sure you have a sensitivity that you're comfortable with. That is the #1 priority. Make sure you're sitting properly, back straight, and uncomfortable with your setup. I have a video for the best settings. I also have a video which shows how to find your sensitivity and much more. Feel free to check those out. Now, before we hop into any real games, most of our time will be spent in creative, and once we've mastered and gotten better mechanically, then that's when we can go into arena and test ourselves. Later on, any mistake that you make in arena, you will go and practice that same motion in creative, but that's a later section in the video. Let's focus on the basics. Make sure you are boxing up correctly. A full box consists of 2 floors, 4 walls and cones under and on top of you. To be honest, there's not one right way of boxing up, but the way I like to do it so I don't mess up is by placing a floor, walls all around me, then the floor and cones on top and under me. Make sure you always have a cone in your box so you don't get piece controlled easily. Next, I'm going to teach you all the different variations of ramp rushes. Some you will know and some maybe you don't use or have forgotten about. To start, you of course just have the normal ramp, but that is weak and can be easily shot down. To make this more protected, you can add walls. Once you've got that down, you can add a floor and a wall. This way people from low ground will also have trouble breaking you down. Thirdly, it's the double ramp push. Once you can do the double ramp with walls consistently, then you can try and implement the floors as well. This is one of the strongest ramp pushes, and yes, there's even more ways to make it stronger, but you're never going to really find that you need anything more than this, and it will just be a waste of materials. The variation I'm talking about is the one I'm showing right now. You do the ramp rush like this, but this time you add an extra ramp, and this is how it looks like. There are many variations of the 90s, and just like the ramp rushes, I will demonstrate how you can do all of them. Some of them are actually harder than the regular 90s that you do. So to start, if you don't know what a 90 is, it's just a way to change direction in a fight or get high ground quickly. All you do is turn, place 4 walls, floor ramp, 4 walls, floor ramp, and just keep repeating this exact motion. This is the most basic 90 and most people know how to do this. The next variation is the spider 90s. The only difference in this one is you don't place all 4 walls. You just do a sharp turn to the right and place 2 walls in front of you. You're gonna repeat this exact motion and make sure to practice it doing from the left side as well. Next up is infinite 90s. Basically, you're doing 90s non-stop, but without jumping. This one is definitely much harder because there is something called jump fatigue. So every triple 90 you do, you're gonna get jump fatigue. What you want to do is make sure you're not too pushed up, or else you'll go under your ramp like so. And basically, it's just the triple 90. So just make sure you are looking at the right direction and hugging this left wall, not too much though, but just stay close to it, right? Just act like you're doing normal 90s, but you're just not gonna jump, right? It'll take some time, you're gonna have to practice it, but that's basically what the infinite 90s is. Finally, we have the clicks 90s. I'm going to slow-mo, but you just place 2 ramps. Turn to the right, then place 4 ramp, run and place wall, and you catch yourself with the ramp. Here's how it should look like. Next up, we have Thwifo cones and the protected/backward 90. The Thwifo cones are extremely important for protecting your back from an opponent, and it's a super easy move to do. As you're ramping up, look back and place walls and a cone like so. Make sure your crosshair is aimed up, because if it's too low, then you'll place the cone right above you, and you will block yourself. So that's what crosshair placement is basically. Depending on where you're looking, that's where your builds are going to place. Also, make sure to practice doing this move from both sides because your opponent won't always be towards your right. Now, I connected the protected 90s with the Thwifo cone because they are similar. Let's say you are boxed up and you are trying to get high ground from someone who's 2 layers above you. If you go up for a normal 90, the player has an easy angle and can shoot you. Instead, start like this. Place the walls behind you first like so, and then proceed to 90 up. This way the player won't be able to shoot you as you attempt to take high ground. Next, let's move to high walls, a move that you must learn if you want to piece control, which we will talk about later in the video. There are many ways you can implement this move. Let's assume that you're double ramping up and your opponent is also following you, but he's on height. Turn and swing walls like so. Make sure to flick your mouse and look up so you can get these walls placed really high above you. From here, go up and you can edit a window and place a cone. Usually you will catch your opponent with this move if he's 2 layers above you, then you can either commit and try to fully box him up, or use that chance to get height yourself. So you can repeat this motion to practice them. You can also try side jumping while placing high walls like so. You can implement both of these drills in your routine, and with no time you'll be using high walls in almost all your build fights. Tunneling is also an important skill, especially for end games or when you are trying to get away from enemy players to heal up and make some space. Really quickly, here's all the types of tunnels that you definitely need to master. First, we got the straight tunnel. This is the most basic type of tunnel and everyone should know it by now. Simply run, place walls and floors around you. You also want to practice doing this tunnel without placing that wall in front of you. So place 2 floors, then stop turbo building. Stop holding turbo build, place the 2 walls and continue. Next, we have the diagonal tunnel. Very simple, you need to place 2 floors, 2 walls, but leave one side open and repeat that same motion. Be patient when placing the walls because you might place this wall right in front of you like this. We also have the triangular tunnel. Another easy move, just place floor, wall, look at the wall, and then place your ramp, so it flips sideways like this. You could just also look down and do it. However, I look up because I can see more around me. Also, every now and then, you should look back to place a wall behind you because some people could sneak up in your tunnel. Finally, the upward tunnel, but this one burns a lot of materials. This is really only useful if the game is super stacked and you're playing duos or trios and you all need to stay together. Ramp flips is a skill that will benefit you greatly in this game and it's super important that you get it down. There are many situations where you'll find yourself in need of doing a quick ramp flip. Let's say your box is being pressured. You do quickly something like this where you are just flipping the ramp. In fact, this is a drill of itself. You could just box up and pretend that someone is attacking you and just keep flipping your ramps in all different directions. This is such a good way to train and it's very realistic. Another move you can do is this. Place ramp and 4 walls around you and another ramp. This is another fundamental move for high ground retakes, which we will learn later in the video. From here, flip the ramp and repeat the same motion. A third way to implement ramp flips is by doing this move. Another fundamental move that you will learn as you're ramping up, place 2 cones above you like so, then flip the ramp. Once you flip the ramp, you want to instantly place walls all around, edit the cone, and repeat that same motion. When it comes to cones, you want to learn how to flip those as well, so I use this one simple drill. It's perfect for moving up players while being protected. As you are ramping, place a cone, edit it, and quickly place 2 walls and another cone on top. Then jump and edit the cone like a ramp, then repeat this exact same motion. Alright, now we have to cover single, double, and triple edits. All crucial skills once again if you want to take your gameplay to the next level. Start by just alternating between a cone and a floor and editing those. Once you have gotten that down consistently, like you have to be doing it right 9 out of 10 times, then you can move on to double edits, which just involve a cone and a floor. Now do the same thing, but now edit through both builds. Another great way to practice this is by pretending like you got a cone and a floor on top of an opponent, and then double editing. Thirdly, the hardest of them all, the triple edit. I recommend doing what I'm doing here. Do a triple edit, then change direction and do another one. Repeat this exact motion. Now I'm going to show you 3 simple high ground retakes that you should know and have in your memory ready to use when in a fight. The first one is extremely simple and honestly my favorite. You just place ramp, cone, walls all around, then edit through and repeat the exact same motion. That is basically the retake, and from there you could do multiple things. Second is very similar. Instead of a cone, it's a ramp, but then you place it and drag the cones on top like so. Just do exactly what I'm doing. That is the other retake. Thirdly, I showed this earlier when I was showing off the ramp flips. But the reason I'm showing you guys these 3 retakes is because they are essentially 3 fundamental moves that lead to multiple retakes. From this move right here, you could choose what you want to do. You could go left, straight, right, and then pull another move we learned, and you can really get creative. Moving on to side jumps, there are multiple different variations for this as well. I made an in-depth video on side jumps, so if you want to learn more, feel free to check it out. But I'm going to show you some of the most important tips when it comes to side jumping. First, if you find that you keep hitting your head, it means that you're going too quickly, and you need to be more patient when you place your floor. You also want to practice landing slightly close to the middle, but not right at the middle of your build. So first of all, when people are side jumping, most people do this. But instead of this, you can do this move, which is a bit more advanced, and it puts you 1 layer higher. But be careful because you are not protected. But there's an easy fix. When you do this, place 2 walls through the cone like so, and then do the jump. Then once you land on your ramp, you could place walls behind you and just keep going up like how you normally would. Another way you could do this is by landing facing in front of you like so, then doing that fundamental move we learned just recently so you can keep yourself protected. From here, you can either go straight or to the right, and even behind you or even flip the ramp, whatever you want. Finally, one I showed earlier was the high wall side jump. A skill that you should master is the triangle edit because it's very common. Not gonna spend too much time here. You can follow this drill to train it. This is a very good skill to have because you use so many times during a fight or when you're boxed up. You can also just box up and do what I'm doing right here on the screen and just practice like editing and then like that triangle edit and then just shooting. Like pretend like you're in a fight with somebody. If you're on high ground, a common way to get down quickly was to waterfall. But what if I told you you were doing it the wrong way? Doing this is super easy to shoot down. Instead, go down like this, placing multiple walls in a cone while editing through it. Then repeat the exact same motion. This is a much better alternative than the original way of doing it. If you have mastered everything I just mentioned here, then you are definitely not a beginner and towards the intermediate to advanced level. Now I'm going to talk to you about piece control, way to piece your opponents and how you can train it. Everything we learned will help us in mastering this part of the game. Piece control is something that pros use to quickly end the fight, which is what makes them so good, their ability to end fights fast. Piece control is literally just controlling the pieces, the builds in a fight so your opponent has no control and essentially you're trying to box them up because then they can't do anything. So drill number 1, double edit from above. First of all, the double edit from above is super realistic and it's a move that you can actually get the chance to pull in game, so practice. Get consistent with double editing and then boxing up a layer from above. Once you do that, practice placing a wall by looking down, editing a window and picking a jump shot. This is a very protected peek if you're above someone. Drill number 2, piece control from below. Now practice piece controlling from below like this. Pretend like someone is ramping up against you or someone is just above you in general. Do a triple edit and box them up like this. You could duplicate into the box or go to the left since that's the only opening, meaning the player will most likely come out from that side. Practice this a few times until you get it down and try to use it in game when fighting another player. Overhead cones. Crosshair placement is key here. You don't want to put the cone right above you, but you want to throw the cone over the wall like this. Use these 2 drills I am showing to master this trick. Finally, you should hop into Razer's piece control map v3 and do number 1 green and then number 1 and 9 purple. The reason I chose those 3 is because I find them to be the most useful. Number 1 on the green side is just piecing a player that's on a ramp. This map is really great because it forces you to practice from both sides as well. Drill number 1 on the purple side is also really good when you're below the other player. Number 9 is when someone's on his ramp again, and this situation is common, which is why I chose this drill. You want to fully piece the bot and then edit out from the side, then edit a window like this, while trying your best to maintain cover as you're confirming the edit. The ultimate routine that will implement everything you've seen in this guide in about 30 to 60 minutes is this map. Get on it. It's amazing. It's a full warm-up that implements all the drills we learned, but not really like the building ones, so I recommend going into free play and training each drill you suck at for about 3 to 5 minutes each day. So let's say you want to train high walls, double edits, and clicks 90s. We'll just spend 3 to 5 minutes on each, and that's about 9 to 15 minutes, and then do your normal warm-up to get your mechanics and everything ready. That concludes this video. I hope you did find it useful. Please, if you found it helpful, consider subscribing as it did take some time to make. The number 1 best way to support me is by using creator code Clumzzy in the Fortnite item shop, or just use someone's code. It helps us out way more than you think. All links can be found in the description. Don't forget to leave a like. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.